We are now on the record. Today is Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. The time is 10:02 a.m. The videographer is Alex Polai with Moyer Litigation Video, located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The court reporter is Karen Rodriguez of Albuquerque Court Reporting Service. We are here for the 30B6 deposition of the New Mexico Civil Guard in the case of the State of New Mexico versus New Mexico Civil Guard et al. Filed in the State of New Mexico, County of Bernalillo, 2nd Judicial District. Case number D-202-CV-2020-04051. This deposition is being held at the offices of Pfeiffer, Hansen, Mullins, and Baker, PA, 20 First Plaza Center, Suite 725, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Counsel will please state their appearances.
Mark Baker for the State of New Mexico.
Paul Kennedy for the defendants.
The court reporter will now please swear in the witness.
Could you raise your right hand, please? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Would you please first just say your full name and spell your last name for the record?
No comment.
You're declining to identify yourself on the record?
Yes.
On what basis?
Fifth Amendment right.
I understand your name is Mr. Provence. Have you brought with you documents today, sir?
Yes.
And can you identify those for me?
Personal documents.
What are they?
Personal documents.
Can I inspect them, please?
Yes.
So one is a torn piece of what looks like maybe a paper bag that has a picture of what looks like the devil and then Georgetown law over it with people inside in flames. Is that right?
No, the devil's in flames.
Okay. And then the other one is you with a word bubble that says fucking weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like you have your penis out and it says your mom and then
Yes.
someone bent over. And who's that directed to?
It's just a drawing.
Whose
it's
mom
a
is it?
personal document.
Who's
It was
mom?
supposed to make me laugh.
And is your mom directed at any of the parties in this case?
I don't think so.
What relevance does this have to the deposition today?
It was to make me smile while I had to look at you.
Okay, I'll mark that as Exhibit 1 to the deposition. And then next I have a torn piece of paper with what looks like the cover of a book. It says William Cooper on the cover, and the first page says Behold a Pale Horse by Milton William Cooper. What is that?
It's a book cover. I like it.
And have you read Behold a Pale Horse before?
Yes.
What's the subject matter of the book?
No comment.
Based on what?
Fifth Amendment right.
And then it looks like a copy of the Declaration of Independence, or at least portions of it. Is that correct?
No comment.
On what basis?
My Fifth Amendment right.
So is it your testimony, since you identified me before we went on the record as Mr. Provence, that it would incriminate you or poses the possibility of incriminating you to identify the Declaration of Independence as being that document?
No comment.
So, Mr. Kennedy, you have an obligation to produce a 30B6 deponent who will testify on the subjects under the court's order.
Well,
If he's going to invoke the fifth today, then we're going to have to reconvene and have a hearing with the judge, because I don't think you can present a witness who will not testify.
I'll testify to the questions that were posed in the motion that you guys sent to us.
He means the notice.
Okay? But you're refusing to identify who you are?
Well, I think I'm pretty well identified, but I am a free man under the Constitution.
And are you
I
unwilling to
identify
give your
as
name?
a free man. Yes. Bryce.
And what's your last name?
Provence.
I'm going to mark the book cover from William Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse, as Exhibit 2, and the Declaration of Independence portion there is Exhibit 3. So you identified your first name as Bryce. What's your last name?
Provence, Provance.
And what other names have you gone by, Mr. Provence?
free man under the Constitution.
Have you gone by Jason Bjorn?
No comment.
Based on what?
These questions weren't in the deposit or the motion that you filed. The questions that you requested that I answer were about documentation regarding the New Mexico Civil Guard. And as founder of the organization, the Facebook organization, or Gentlemen's Club, whatever you would like to call it, I retained all documents. And since I was the last individual I reckon to be served with this lawsuit, I did not know about the provisions to retain any of the documentation. So when I was forced from the New Mexico Civil Guard based on my past, I destroyed all documentation. Shredded and burned all membership files. I shredded and burned anything regarding the structure of the New Mexico Civil Guard. I also poured bleach on the hard drive of my laptop and then burned it. And then afterwards, I think about a month afterwards, I was served with the documentation regarding the preservation of the documents. So up until that point, I did not know. Nobody else had those documents except for me as founder and organizer of the Facebook group and the association.
Okay, I'm going to reserve objections on the refusal to identify the witness who's testifying on behalf of the entity, but
Any
Well,
further?
he did identify himself.
what's
Yes.
your current address and phone number?
No comment. Actually, all of my answers from here on out are going to be no comment since I gave you what you needed from your court filing.
On what date did you destroy the documents you've described shredding and
I don't
burning?
recall. It was in between Florida and Tennessee.
And that was after there had been media coverage regarding the New Mexico Civil Guard?
At that time, I had no devices, no contact. I had disconnected myself from everything that was going on due to the intense, heartfelt, I felt bad after getting removed from the New Mexico Civil Guard due to my past after forming the organization. So I disconnected from the world, and I actually lived in a camper for a while. Other than that, every question henceforth is going to be no comment.
On what basis did you...
No comment.
Well, you're going to have to let me... I've got to make a record for the judge, so I'm going to ask my questions, and you can invoke the fifth if you believe that's appropriate, and we'll deal with that accordingly. But for what purpose did you destroy, shred, and burn the documents you've described destroying?
I was no longer a member. I did not feel that I needed to retain them because I did not know of a lawsuit.
So you deny any knowledge that a lawsuit had been filed?
Yeah, until I was served, I had no idea.
And as of the time you destroyed the documents you've described destroying, do you deny that you understood that there was a likelihood that legal proceedings would follow?
No comment.
Based on what?
I do not feel like commenting. I'm a free man under the Constitution. I'm not under your rules, the Bar Association's rules, and I have no knowledge of them.
Any other basis for refusing to answer that question?
I don't understand legalese, so I have no comment.
Did you not realize that there could be either criminal charges or a lawsuit filed
No
related
comment.
to the Civil Guard? And what's your basis for not commenting?
Same as before. We should just keep that on record, as that is going to be my blanket for all of your questions. Same as before. I don't feel like repeating myself over and over.
I'm sorry, but you're going to need to, or you're going to have to refuse to continue with the deposition. But I'm going to ask the questions, and I'm going to need you to answer them. So,
I
on what
answered your
basis
questions. I refuse to continue the deposition.
you refuse to continue the deposition, and you're stepping out?
Yes. Have a lovely day, Mr. Mark. Oh, here.
Yeah, don't walk out with the microphone.
Sorry about that. Have a lovely day.
I like your rings. Have a good one. Note that the 30B6 deposition has been terminated by the witness designated by the New Mexico Civil Guard.
We are now off the record. The time is 10:12.